Today, welcome to another episode of Jyoty'S Tips and Tricks. Okay, you know what? Let's just talk about it. My eye makeup is fucked and I don't want to see it in the comments. I don't want to read about it. Let's just focus. Yes, I get it. There's a whole gap in my eyeshadow on my eye. No, we didn't know until we were done and we watched it back. Okay, let's just move on. I accept. I failed. Don't take tips and tricks from me when it comes to makeup. I get it. It was dark. We were moving. Do you know what? It doesn't even matter. Let's just move on. These are little episodes where sometimes they're not that little, but where I tell you information, intel, insights, literally tips and tricks into having a career in DJing, presenting, hosting, broadcasting. And actually a lot of you have told me that a lot of the stuff I've been sharing has been applicable even if you're not in that field of work. So today's episode is actually a part 2 of the last one. Today we're going to talk about engagement, not being afraid to reach out. We're going to talk about getting comfortable or not being afraid of rejection, and building a team when you're ready, and taxes. Engagement. Let's start off with that. Engagement is the most powerful marketing tool. I know in the last episode I talked about branding and logos and everything that has to do with marketing essentially. Engaging with your audience on whatever platform, whether that's your social media, your SoundCloud, Twitter is social media, your TikTok, whatever it is, no matter how short or how brief the reaction is, whether it's liking it, saying thank you, replying with an emoji, it's a powerful tool. It comes across very nice, very polite, and it also keeps the conversation going, which then, I don't even want to get into algorithms. It's just a super powerful tool and it will cost you the least. All it takes is just a little bit of your time. Done. Boom. Don't be afraid to reach out. This is something that I get asked quite a bit. If you want to get booked somewhere and you're still at the early stages, email promoters. Like, what is the worst thing that can happen? You getting a no? There's actually a brilliant Dutch saying, Aisha. There's a Dutch saying that goes, a no you've already got, a yes you can get. Because the thing is, you're still not playing even if you didn't ask. And if you get a no, nothing changes, you're still not playing. But by you asking, you could potentially get a yes. Now that is a result. Same goes for working with brands. There's absolutely no harm in reaching out to a brand. This could be a little email, seeing what they've got going on, telling them about you by sending your press kit that we talked about in the last episode. Or it could be even taking it to the next level and sending over a pitch, an idea, a concept, a creative concept, where you explain what you envision this brand could do in collaboration with you. So for example, you thought of a brilliant idea, a series, a concept, an event, anything like that. You put it in a deck, you make it look nice, you have pictures to kind of give them an idea. It doesn't have to be you physically doing the thing you're talking about, but maybe it's been done before. You explain into detail why you think it would be good for them, not for you, for them. What is the added value? We keep coming back to this, and you send it off. Again, you might never get a reply. You might get a reply, and if you do, you know it's because of the work that you've put in. The same goes for collaborating with other creatives. Don't be afraid to hit someone up. What I will say is, again, don't make it about what they can do for you. Make it about what you can add to what they're already doing. It makes the conversation a lot less, I think, wanting something or needing something from that other person and them feeling like they have to sacrifice something for you, but you make it feel like a collaboration. But leading into the next topic, be prepared for a letdown. Get comfortable with rejection or disappointment. This is the case with anything you do in life at any age. Not everything is always going to go your way, and the same goes for the creative work that you want to be doing. Don't take it to heart. Don't take it personally. I've been on the receiving end of rejection many times before, and now I find myself in a position where I have to disappoint other people. And I can tell you from my own personal experience on both ends, it is a 99% never anything personal. So get used to that feeling. And actually, I think once you get okay with rejection or the word no, you're gonna get more comfortable moving forward, reaching out and asking for things, because you already know that that no might be the answer to expect. So you actually go into it a little bit more ballsy, a little bit more confident, and a little bit more I don't care what the outcome is. I just want to put this into the world. And if something comes back, then that's just a plus. And if it doesn't, we keep it moving. If you feel like you're not really getting the amount of yeses that you would have expected or you thought you would, chances are maybe you're not doing enough, or maybe you're not doing something the way that people expected you to do so. Don't be afraid to ask your peers on social media, in real life, how they go about these situations, how they send emails, how they send DMs, how they present themselves. Ask around. The more you do this, the more you're gonna figure out a way that gets a positive result and a positive response, and you can kind of alter your interaction and your pitch as you go along. Build a team when you're ready. Now, we've already had an episode where we talked about manager versus agent, and I explained what their roles are and whether and when they're needed for you in your career. If you feel like you can't handle all your bookings yourself anymore, or you have to take your branding and your strategy to the next level, this is a really good time to start considering to take people on and expand your team. Whether this is in the form of a manager to think of a whole strategic and a branding aspect of things, an agent to get you more work, maybe even a stylist that you're comfortable working with, or in my case, Aisha, who does all my content. Sometimes you want to use different people for different things. If that is not an option yet financially, there are a lot of talented people who can work as a one-stop shop. So put it out in the world. You never know what comes back, and try out different people. Don't be afraid. You don't owe anybody anything. Just as you have worked with people and then decided that it wasn't a right fit, the same will happen to you. And it's okay. Everyone wants to have the best results. And if that doesn't happen with one pairing or the second or the third, it might happen on the fourth and the fifth. Don't just work with people who can build you financially or just your name. This is also something I explained when I was explaining the role of a manager. You don't want someone who is there with you for clout. I don't like using that word, but when the checks disappear, you don't want these people to disappear. You want them around even when times get hard, because that's the part of being a team. Things aren't always gonna go great. You're not always gonna have a huge influx of work. There's gonna be quiet times, but that doesn't mean that you and your team should be quiet. You wanna be surrounded by people who then help you think of other ways to get work in or to keep busy when you're not getting paid work, and you can work on more creatives or passion-led projects. Start with what you really need. Start with what is necessary, and as time and work and your craft goes along, you can expand. Don't think you from day dot need a makeup artist. You need someone who does all your bookings. You need an assistant to look after your inbox. If there's a lot of stuff that you can do by yourself, try to keep it in-house. It'll save you a lot of money, but also you'll learn a lot, and you'll also figure out what it is exactly you need from other people. If you've done the job yourself before, you're in a way better position to explain very clearly what it is that you're expecting and to what degree or standard you are expected it to be delivered. There's no right order in ways to expand a team. Don't think that you, for example, need a manager before an agent and then a publicist and then no, there's no right or wrong way of going about it. Your own work will dictate what is needed. So forget any rules, if there even is any, and don't let anybody tell you that you need one before the other. You know exactly when you need help with what. Now, the last thing is a little bit not sexy. Tax. I wish someone told me this way before. I'm gonna keep it short, I'm gonna keep it simple. If you have always been used to getting paid monthly by an employer and you were on a payroll, you never had to worry about this because tax was always deducted from your pay. As you go into working for yourself and being a freelance or self-employed, you are now in charge of this, which means, and look this up online, you're kind of fine up until a certain amount per year. I don't know exactly, do we know how much it is? 12 Is it up to 12 grand a year? Look it up on golf.uk somewhere, right? Yeah. HMRC. But after that amount, per 12 months, per financial year, you have to start paying tax, which roughly is 20%, which means everything you're earning, once you start getting those big numbers and big chunks of money at a time, just make sure you put 20% away in a separate account. Trust me, you're gonna thank us later. A separate account that you're not able to access, because at the end of the day, when the taxman comes to try to get their money, or tax woman or tax person, whatever, you're gonna want that money. and there is no amount of coins in your nasty ass sofa that will gather that money. Then, if you find yourself doing this quite a lot and the numbers keep getting higher and higher and doing your tax return is getting more difficult, this is a good time to start thinking about an accountant. I'm talking as if I have an accountant. I don't. I really need one. So let's just leave it at that. And that was today's episode, the follow-up from episode 8, part 2, tips and tricks, all the things you didn't know you needed, but you do need if you're getting really serious about this type of work, I guess. If you like the episode, share it, do a little thumbs up, hit the like button, tell people to watch it. And if you don't,